Didn't we do an interview before?
You and myself?
Yeah, we look so familiar.
We met a couple times before.
Have we? That's probably it. We took a picture together?
Right.
Okay, where were we?
I used to work at WBLS Radio.
BLS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic.
And we met through Dave Horton.
Yeah,
at
David.
Records.
Yeah, at Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
This here for you. And
Oh, I'm going to lean in, yes, a little bit, yeah. That's fantastic.
Thanks. So first, I'd just like to say on behalf of myself and an entire generation of music lovers, Black Americans in particular, thanks so much for so much great music over the years.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
You know, my coworker was saying she was actually born before the day your record went #1 or something. Young lady who was talking about so, everybody was really excited that you're coming today. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You have put out a new CD this past January this year, More Greatest Hits,
Yeah.
right? Which includes a lot of your greatest hits over the years, and as well as a couple of the other ones. Let's Stay Together, a longer version of that, and
Funny
and Guilty.
how time's away, slips away, yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about that. I mean, different songs that are on the most recent release that you have out there.
Well, I think this is right now is I don't know. Some of these songs are just personal songs, you see, and so I don't know why they would go and put them on the record because they are so personal. And Your Heart's in Good Hands is on here, which is the latest song that we've done, Your Heart's in Good Hands. But you got Guilty on here, which goes way back to 71 and 70, yeah. Okay, and he's trying to find himself, and I think that's why he put that on there, because he's trying to find, that's when Al is trying to find Al, and Willie is trying to find Al, and Al Jackson is listening and just about got Al, but we working on it. That's what it is, yeah. So it's a lot of other good songs, different. There's 14, 18 different songs on here, yeah, so it'd be good listening. I have of the first copy, but I don't have this one yet.
Now, this one actually was a
First one.
release, right?
Yes,
And
that's
now
the first one.
They re-released it with 5 new.
Yeah, they
songs.
did a reissue on the first Greatest Hits, which was the one with no shirt on, of me playing in the studio, but I look dead serious, don't I?
Absolutely. Coming to get you.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I was so slim. I don't think I weighed more than 140 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever. That was Call Me era. This is when this picture is taken, the Call Me era. What a beautiful time we had together and all of that. Yeah, that's what that's about.
Tell us, if you would just take us into the studio during the time that you and Willie Mitchell just put together so many of some of your best hits, some of the music that we've enjoyed.
Well, that's the time of work. That's the time that everybody was bums. All of us were bums. We were all, and when I said bums, I mean we didn't have jobs, and we just had families, and kind of wondering how we're going to take care of them. That's what we were doing, and we would go to these places and try to get a break. Because we were just a band and a singer, and I'm an unknown, Al Green, unknown. Nobody. I had never had made a record before. See, so that was trying to get to know himself. That's right, and we were bums, and finally somebody got interested. Excuse me, took interest in us, like Willie Mitchell, and. Says, man, you have a great voice. And I'm going like, who's he talking to? You know what I mean? I didn't know, He said, well, I'd like for you to have you to come to Memphis. And I said, well, great. Well, give me a card, and I walked off. I just didn't know that he was, well, if he was talking to me, he couldn't be serious. And secondly, I've heard all this before, you know what I mean? So We were all bums working on it, yeah.
So now you have actually greatest hits releases through Motown as well as an anthology that came out last year.
Yeah.
Were you out and doing
That was on Capitol.
Okay.
Yeah, see, all these record companies we are involved with, and I think it's so wonderful because we were on A&M, remember, one while on that Everything's Gonna Be All Right. You know, on that Everything is Gonna Be All Right. We was on A&M. Then we went over to RCA with the Hearts in Good Hand, which is, you know, out of BMG. Now we're on EMI Capitol. Started from High, London Records. The old London Records used to be on the, you know, Avenue of the Americas. Yeah. Now we're on Capitol. Yeah. Oh, this is the interview. My God, I shouldn't be clapping.
Greatest Hits album actually has been on the Billboard chart for like 35 weeks.
Yeah.
It's since its inception, since it was released in '95.
Yes.
In the top 200
Yes.
albums. Tell us your just reaction on that, on affecting so many people with your music that it just maintains itself. It withstands the test of time.
Well, I was getting out on the plane, and it was a lady came by, and she says, "You are responsible for something." And I said, "What is it?" And she was a stewardess, and she went up front and got a picture of a little girl about 4 or 5 years old. She said, "That's what you did," and I said, "Well, that's nice, now, isn't it? You know." And that let's stay together, and they got married, and that kind of mushy stuff, right? Right.
How does and that's just one story, I'm sure, among many.
Right.
What's your reaction or your take on that, on being an instrumental part in the conception of so many people?
That's a blessing, see. I don't know. I'm not at all responsible. I don't have control of anything. And I'm so glad, because if I had, I think I might mess stuff up. And I just don't want to mess stuff up. I'd like to be vital to the community and helpful in any way I possibly could in reference to the music. And I'm still in love with you, I think, is a good thing to say to somebody else, something, you know. So maybe that's good.
Just tell us a couple of some. I'm sure all your songs are surely treasures, but tell us 2 or 3 of your favorites, personal that you recorded.
You Ought to Be With Me. That was the time we were in. You Ought to Be With Me. You Ought to Be With Me. Okay, Manchester, England. On stage that night, kids, a lot of kids dancing on the floor like a teeny bopper, 12th grade kids on the floor, and I was doing You Ought to Be With Me until I die. And the tears was coming down this guy's face, and everybody was dancing, and they were having a good time. And then they stopped dancing, and each partner began to hold the other partner's hand, and they all began to gather around the stage and say, "This guy is serious." Mm-hmm. And I think that I didn't know what I was, but You Ought to Be With Me is personal, yeah.
One of on your current more greatest hits.
Sorry, I'm in such a terrible voice, but
you're fine.
You'll have to cut that out.
Back of Crane is featured on the album. That's
Oh, yeah.
One of your first hits with the Soulmates.
Yes, Ted Maters and Palmer James, yeah, from Grand Rapids.
Just kind of, we were talking about Willie Mitchell a little earlier. Just tell us about starting out early on with your brothers, and then how you moved from kind of gospel into secular.
Yeah.
And then came back to gospel later on in the years. Talk about that whole transition.
Ooh. Many miles of evolution, I suppose it is. I started with my brothers and my dad, and we sang a gospel group. Their name was the Green Brothers. I guess that's ironic, okay? So we did this, and I sang this choir at the church, and I sang the choir at school, and that lasted for 7th grade to 12th grade. And I got straight A's in choir, and everything else didn't matter. Until they gave me a $100 bet that I couldn't do the work. Then I got straight A's and got the $100. And then, now that is so, I don't know what that is about him. Now, he will do the work, and he knows the work. But he just, at that time, loved music so much until that was my only thing. Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke and Dock of the Bay and going to school. That was my hang up. That's why I got thrown out of the house.
You said, currently you have a church in Memphis, Tennessee?
Yes.
Tell us more about your ministry in the church.
20 years. I've been in the ministry. I've been reading. I've been going to this theology class. But more than that, that's not important. What's important is that in 1973, in Anaheim, California, I was born again. Something happened to me at 4:40 in the morning. That's after Saturday night. I was tired. 3 shows that day. Disneyland was at 11:30 that night, Disneyland, last show. We flew in from the plane. And I went to bed, and I was tired, and I took a shower. And I woke up, that was rejoicing. And I don't know, tears down. And I've been born again. I found the Lord. All these expressions was coming out. And it was so wonderful. I'm out here knocking on people's doors, and security came up and said, saying, I've been born again. And these people going, great, good night. Wham! I'll cut another door, man. Hey, man. Hey, y'all. Hey. The band is like standing out in the hall. My dad, right? Robert Green, right? He's standing out in the hall going like, come over this boy. I'm telling everybody. Okay, and we come up to For the Good Times. This is all of that music. And, can you hear Robin's I'm so lonesome I could cry? And that, and then I couldn't escape. I tried to escape, but then again, there was a lot of people this was presented to, and they refused this road, this walk of life, the reverend bit. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. They don't want to have anything to do with it. But then again, there are a lot of people that was not here, because in that trimester of things, you have to sort out where you're going, who you're for, where you're standing, what platform, what foundation. It's have to be established, and if you're not careful, you can slip off into other areas. There's so many of our brothers and sisters, and Janis Joplin, I say my brothers and sisters, Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke, Jimi Hendrix is another. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You know, I've been in a plane and lightning struck the plane and the engines went out. So I'm one of them, right? And that rascal was headed to the ground. And I just said, Jesus. When it bottomed out right there, me and the climb back up like that.
You've been blessed and very fortunate.
Thank you, man. You said it.
So, are you working on any new music right now?
Yes, I'm starting 8 more days. We're starting. I'm going to try to write some music that says, I love you, because everybody in the world, in Berlin even, know that I'm the Reverend Reverend Al Green. That's what they call you in Berlin, the Reverend Al Green. You can call yourself what you like, but you're the Reverend Al Green. So I says, I'm going like, is that German you're speaking? I could only understand the green part.
This album is going to be more of a gospel oriented or inspirational?
Maybe it will be more like Your Heart's in Good Hands. Lord, lift me up where we belong. It doesn't have to say God, 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 God all the time. There are a lot of things that God is in, like Stevie Wonder's song or what else, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is honest, and you're still right. So we're gonna maybe Willie Mitchell and maybe Nada Michael. We'll figure something out.
Okay. I'm going to turn this over to Roberta right now.
Thank you for your time. Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
this is super. Thanks, Curtis.